Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have another Dragon Ball Super Fusion World video going over the green starter deck. The green and yellow starter decks have kind of been a little bit of a mystery on what cards are in them, but they've been kind of released over social media over the last couple of days, and I'm really excited to kind of go over this Broly here in general. So we also will be going over the yellow Frieza one in the next couple of days, and this kind of general thoughts and probably some gameplay in the next couple of days as well. But I'm really excited for it. I think it's really cool, and also as a special treat for you guys, I've kind of updated my website. It took a good amount of time for it, but we have not only like all of the cards on the website, but I also personally made a lot of printable PDFs for you guys if you guys want any of these demo decks or like proxy star decks to do your own testing and playing. So it's here on my website. There's a master link here, but if you go to any of the individual ones, again, they have all the cards, which is how we're going to go over the cards for here. But it also has a link to Google Drive, which has a spreadsheet. I just have 4 of every card in there because we don't know the ratios outright, and I want you guys to be able to kind of customize and make your own builds for it too. But should be fun. I highly recommend checking it out, and it's a really good resource for you guys. All 4 of the star decks have that, so I spent again a good amount of time. So if you guys appreciate that, hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure to check out my website. And let's kind of jump on into this one. So honestly, Broly is my probably like on the surface favorite starter deck, mostly because if you guys know me from Dragon Ball Super Masters, which is now the rebrand of it, but I played a lot of green. Green was probably my favorite color, the color that I found the most success with in this card game or in that card game, and mostly because it was kind of a hand destruction archetype, and it's really kind of dependent on kind of whittling down your opponent, making sure you made choices that had that card advantage in mind and had like the destruction for it too. So green's kind of shifted a little bit to having some ramp style gameplay, and also but it does kind of still feel like green in Masters as well. And also this Broly leader is really unique as well, which we'll go over now. So has this when attacking, draw 1 card, and then also the awaken for it is that when your life is at 4 or less, you add 1 card from your life to your energy in rest mode, and then you flip this card over. And if you flip the card over, it's 25k base, which you look at most of the other leaders, and by most of them I mean all the other ones, they're all 20k on the other side. So being a 25k leader is different. It does mean like we didn't draw a card on the awaken, and the fact that we ramp the energy, so it's kind of like the trade-off for that one. But also we're down to 3 life, right? This leader on awaken, it goes from 4 to 3 life automatically, or more if you had less life. So that's kind of the trade-off for it. And then also you'll find out that this activate main once per turn, you get to place 1 of your energy into your drop, and then you get to draw 1 card. Then this card gets plus 5k power, so it becomes 30k, and you have to lose a card in your energy, but it just pretty much means you get like a free cycle of a card essentially. And if you use the energy already, you don't like even lose it. So generally you want to get up to a certain amount of energy, and then you just don't like need to cycle it, and you can keep going down more even. So I think that's like there's going to be a lot of situations where you have to decide if you want to even like put an energy card in your energy, or if you like use this activate main every turn. And just I think it's a really unique leader, and it's way more unique than the other ones combined. Like you kind of see that for its play style and everything else. So that's the leader. That's what we're kind of looking for. And then we have all of these cards here. We do have vanillas, and also they haven't officially like released the cards for the vanilla, so that's why these are so blurry. We kind of have like some like far away shots, some pixelated shots, but the vanilla specifically for it, like the interesting part of it is that we have the 2 cost 2k, we have the 1 cost 15k, we have the 4 cost 30k, but we also have the 6 cost 40k, which is unique to this one. Normally the other ones have a 3 cost 25k, but this is something unique to Broly, but also because we pretty easily get to these higher totals. But I think that's really cool, and I didn't really mention it, but Bandai does a really good job at making the leaders and characters feel like their characters, and so showing that Broly like physically has more power and like numerically, and just the fact that the cards that he gets generally have more power, I think is really cool for the theming for it. So there's a couple things to kind of go with this deck in general. We're going to just kind of start at the low drop. So we have this Moa. It's a 1 drop. It's a 5k, has an on play. Look at top 5 cards of your deck. You get to add 1 Paragus or an extra card for it. So we have some targets for these extra cards, but also some Paragus, which we have 2 of right now. We have this 2 drop 15k, which has on play. You get to add 1 card from your life to your hand. So being able to get some card draw, but also self awakening is generally good in this card game. And then also has this 1 attacking. If your leader is a Broly and you have no Shamoan battle card, you get to play 1 from your drop. So that is this 1 drop blocker. So somewhat easy to remove and nothing too good, but it's a blocker, and that means you can block with it. You get the removal from it, but then you get to just get it right back every time you attack with it, which is really nice. But also, we have this one, which is essentially the same thing, but it's activate main once per turn if your leader is a Broly and you have no Shimoan battle cards in play. Play up to 1 Shimoan with a cost of 1 from your drop. So being able to cycle these cards, this essentially is card draw, if you want to say it, especially since we can combo with this from our board, since that's how Dragon Ball works and not how One Piece works. So being able to use this is great. It's only a 5k, which, you know, I think 1k is kind of like the base for a lot of these cards, but I think that's kind of good for the deck. So having like this little engine, being able to use it to recycle and get like a lot of free value, especially since most of the destruction in this game right now puts cards into the drop. There are some cards that like I think bottom deck, but being able to do that, I think just means you get like this good value, which is also great when your Broly leader is like you don't inherently draw off it either. You can draw off it by playing your Paragus and using the effects from that there, which is cool. Going up, we have Angle, which is a 2-drop 15k, which has critical. So generally, like the green thing of like being able to press for your opponent and you know make it so they have to discard cards. So crit is like usually a pretty common keyword for green in general. We also have this 3-drop Vegeta, which is pretty much again critical, 20k with a 5k counter, and then also if you have 6 or more energy, this gets plus 5k. This is for both players' turns too, so it becomes a 25k, which means that your opponent has to either choose to attack into this Vegeta or into your leader, and they're both 25ks, which is really great. I think that's strong for the deck. And then kind of going into our super rares, the first one we're going to talk about is Turtles. So again, we have critical. So that's just like the hand destruction like archetype. It's either you get out of my attack or you don't draw the card from your life, right? So either way, you're making your opponent have to get rid of cards in hand, which is generally very strong in a kind of resource management game like this one. But also has this on play. You get to place up to 1 card with a cost of 3 or more from your drop into your energy, which I'll say like this effect in like Dragon Ball Masters would be broken. Like this is being able to get ramp is so difficult in that card game. I will say like the 3 or more is a little bit tricky to do since we have a lot of like 1s and 2s in this deck, specifically like the Paragus and the aliens. But we just put 1 in there. It shouldn't be too difficult, and then we get it for free. And then we have like a 30k. So being able to get to 6 energy is great for the effects. Just like free ramp is fantastic, which means that sometimes we don't even have to like draw a card. And since it doesn't say otherwise, it's active, so we can use that for something else, which I think is really cool. So we have that there. I think is a great card. And then we also have the big boy 8-drop Broly. So has an on play, you get to draw a card, and then you get to choose up to one of your opponent's character or battle cards and KO it. It's also 8 cost, so it's a little expensive to get up there. You might have to like not use your Broly leader effect once or twice to get there, but it's a 45k, and then also has 1 attacking once per turn. You get to switch this card to active mode. So if you get to 8, which shouldn't be too difficult to do with how this deck works and like the inherent like ways we get more energy, you get a lot of advantage for this guy, and it seems really, really worth it. So I think that's strong. We're able to do that. And then also we, you know, if we can go to 5, we can use Turtles, go up to 6, and then kind of just go from there. So I think that's strong. And like even like if we were able to be at 6 and then we awake and go to 7, starting next turn, go to 8, that's very good for us. So I like the idea of the deck, and it just seems like it's in a really good spot. So that's like the main cards for it. We also do have our King Vegeta super combo, which they kind of changed how super combos were statted from this set compared to the previous one. So it's just like a big 7 cost. And I honestly think this is probably like a better design decision because they got in trouble a lot in Masters where they, you know, super combos were like 2s or 3 costs, and they have all these cards that recycle 2s and 3 costs. And then they'd be able to recycle super combos and that kind of thing. So making these like cost so much means that you can't find them as easily, but also you can't find them, like you can't recycle them easy, which I think is probably better for the game in general. But and then just being able to be a 20k is kind of how that is. So those are the battle cards there, and then we have lastly the event or the extra cards. So we have the gigantic meteor, activate battle, choose your leader or up to one of your battle cards. It gets plus 15k power for the battle. Then if you have 6 or more energy, this card gets additional 1k. So it doesn't help as much as going like if your opponent goes wide, but being able to go plus 25k when your leader is already a base 25k means you're at 50k, which is a really large number for a game like this. So that's really great, like great value. And you're probably going to get to 6 energy. 6 energy is probably where you kind of cap off. Like you probably go up to 8 to get your 8-drop Broly effect, and then after that you kind of cap off and probably go down You can probably like not charge for a turn and like use the activate main for your Broly once or twice without having to like go back up for it. So I think once you're there, it's fine. Like once you get to 6 or more, you'll probably stay there for the rest of the game. And then we also have the Destructive Strength, which is a 3-cost event. It has Activate Main. You get to add 1 card from the top of your deck into your energy. So this ramp is maybe, it looks, I don't know, like this card is either broken or just okay. Like there's no in between. We'll have to see how this game kind of works for the resource management more, but I do know, again, if this card was released in Masters, that could be busted 100%. Like just being able to get to ramp, which means you get to turn 5 a turn earlier, is really important. And like that game really depends on like hitting your curves and hitting specific requirements quicker. So I think this would be broken this game, and in the previous game, but in this one it's probably fine. It might be a little bit slow for what it is, but we're also not like playing a lot of battle cards with this deck anyways. So we play this on 3, and then that means we go to 4, and then after that we get to use Turles on the next turn. So being able to get to Turles like a turn earlier, I think is great, and then that can just lead it to going into like Awakening and playing the 8-drop afterwards. So the only issue obviously is that none of our big bad cards are searchable. We're going to have to just kind of hard draw them, which is a little bit tough, but if we're able to get there, it seems like this is like a really good, like, 3 and into it. It's also like specifically 3, so you can't use like your little energy marker for it, which I think makes sense. I think being able to like cheat this with an energy marker to replace it immediately is good. And also the fact that the card comes from the top of your deck instead of your hand, which most of the kind of ramping in like the original game was from that. So top of your deck is actually kind of insightful too. It just means like you don't have to go like -2 in hand to be able to get that ramp, which is important. So anyways, that's the deck. Obviously this starter deck, but just kind of my ideas for it and my thoughts for it. So I'm really excited to play this, test this out. I'll probably do an example game against Yellow Frieza, so that should be the thing. And then we should have a Frieza video going out in the next couple of days too. But again, if you guys want to see any of the cards for any of these starter decks, they're here on my website, so make sure to give them a look. And then also, all the printable proxies are here on my drive, which is linked here on this page, as well as just the top of any of the individual pages, so you guys can get that. So that's gonna be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to be on the lookout for more Fusion World content, and I'll catch you all next time.